Let's be real for a second. Trying to understand men can sometimes feel like attempting to finish a puzzle when half the pieces are missing. One moment he's all about you, cracking jokes, paying attention, locking eyes like you're the only woman in the room. And then suddenly he pulls back, acting like he's just being courteous. And you're left sitting there wondering, was that flirting? Or did I just imagine the whole thing? Honestly, how hard is it for a guy to just come out and say, hey, I like you? But no, most men aren't going to walk up with a flashing neon sign that reads, I have feelings for you. Instead, they leave behind these little hints, thinking they're being clever or subtle, when all they're really doing is creating confusion. But here's the silver lining. Even if he's trying to keep his cool, his behavior and body language will always tell a different story. When a guy is hiding how he truly feels, his subconscious still gives away certain signs without him even realizing it. And once you start noticing these cues, you'll be able to pick up on what's really going on before he even figures it out himself. So if you've ever found yourself thinking, is he genuinely into me or just being friendly? You're exactly where you need to be. Because what we're about to get into are the kinds of behaviors men tend to keep under wraps when they're falling for someone. And if you recognize more than one of these signs, there's a strong possibility he already has feelings for you. Let's begin with one of the most obvious signals, physical touch. When a guy feels drawn to you, he'll naturally find ways to be close, but he's not going to blurt out, I want to be near you all the time. Instead, he'll create little opportunities for contact that seem casual on the surface. Have you ever noticed a man laughing and gently touching your arm? Or brushing against your fingers when handing you something? What about when he holds your hand just a fraction of a second too long and says something like, wow, your hands are so small compared to mine. Yeah, that's not random. That's him searching for a moment of connection. Most guys aren't experts at expressing their emotions with words, so they often rely on physical contact to show they care. And the more relaxed and comfortable he is around you, the more frequently you'll start noticing these little touches. It could be something subtle, like a light elbow nudge when he's teasing you, a hand on the small of your back guiding you through a doorway, or his arm resting casually on the back of your chair. These gestures are his way of building physical and emotional closeness, slowly and naturally. Here's something fun you can actually try out. Observe how often he initiates touch the next time you're around him. If he does it more than once, chances are strong that he's feeling something deeper. And keep this in mind, guys don't do this with just anyone. If he's always finding little ways to make contact with you but not others, that's no coincidence. That's intentional. And if you want to send the signal back that you're into it, mirror his energy. If he playfully bumps into you, give a playful nudge in return. If he taps your arm while he's telling a story, respond with a light touch on his shoulder. These small actions say, hey, I'm comfortable with you too. They make him feel more at ease and strengthen the bond between you. Touch is a powerful way to express feelings, and when a guy really likes you, he won't be able to help himself from creating these small, intimate moments, even if he tries to play it off as nothing. Another sign to look for is what happens when he looks at you. Pay attention to his eyes. One subtle but revealing clue is pupil dilation. It might sound strange, but it's true. When someone feels attracted to someone else, their pupils naturally enlarge. It's a biological reaction to excitement and interest, and it's completely out of our control. So how can you spot this? The next time you're talking face to face with him, take a quick look into his eyes. Are his pupils noticeably bigger? Does he look like he's fully engaged in what you're saying, like he's absorbing every word? That's a solid indicator he's into you. Of course, lighting affects pupil size. If you're in a dimly lit setting, everyone's pupils will be larger, but if you're in normal lighting and you still notice that his pupils are wide when he looks at you, that's not just biology, it's attraction. And while we're on the subject of eyes, let's talk about eye contact. When a man is interested, he'll often hold your gaze longer than what's typical. It's not in an uncomfortable or intense way. It's a focused, almost admiring stare, like he's trying to read between your words and soak in your presence. He might even glance at your lips when you're speaking, or you might catch him looking at you when you're not even talking. That's telling. If he's observing you when he doesn't need to be, when the attention isn't on you, it's because you've caught his interest. He's studying your reactions, taking mental notes of the things that make you laugh, what gets you excited, what lights up your face. He's not just casually hanging around, he's drawn to you. And that brings us to another revealing sign, mirroring. When someone mimics your movements, your posture, your expressions without even realizing it, it usually means they feel a strong connection. It's a psychological phenomenon that happens when we're emotionally aligned with someone. Let's say you're sitting across from him and you shift in your seat, and moments later he adjusts his position too. You lift your glass and take a sip, he follows suit shortly after. You lean in to make a point, and he leans in as well. That's mirroring. It's like a subtle, unspoken rhythm between the two of you. Research shows that we naturally imitate the behavior of people we're emotionally synced with. That's why couples often start to act alike over time. They're tuned into each other's patterns. You can even try this out to see if he's mirroring you. Cross your legs, tilt your head, or touch your face, and then wait. If he gradually starts doing the same, even in slightly different ways, he's subconsciously connecting with you. It even happens in facial expressions. If you smile and he smiles right after, that's a shared emotional moment. If you raise your eyebrows in surprise and he mirrors the expression, that's emotional alignment. These tiny cues show that he's engaged and connected with you, even if he hasn't found the words to express it. Now, let's shift into something a little more playful. Teasing. When a guy is genuinely interested, it often shows up as light teasing. He'll playfully challenge you, poke fun at your quirks, or make joking comments just to get a reaction out of you. But it's not about being rude or putting you down. It's his way of connecting and building a spark between you. Why do guys do this? Because teasing adds excitement. It's flirtation disguised as humor. He might tease you for how you always talk about your favorite TV series, or for being predictable with your coffee order. These aren't digs. They're private little jokes, shared laughter. The key thing to look for is how he delivers it. If he teases you but then smiles, checks your reaction, or softens the moment with a kind look, he's not mocking you. He's flirting. He's testing the waters, gauging how you respond, and looking for that spark. Sometimes teasing even comes with a touch. Maybe he gently nudges you when making a comment, or bumps into you as you're walking together. That combo of humor and closeness, it's his way of strengthening the connection without putting his heart entirely on the line. And here's the fun part. The best way to respond is to tease him right back. Joke with him, laugh with him, keep the playful energy flowing that tells him you're engaged, you're confident, and you're enjoying the dynamic just as much as he is. When there's mutual teasing, easy smiles, and a sense of comfort around each other, that's not just friendly banter, that's chemistry. If he's touching you often, holding your gaze, subtly copying your movements, and playfully teasing you, he's not just being nice, he's feeling something. His actions are saying everything his words haven't said yet. He's probably more into you than he's ready to admit. And here's another sign that speaks volumes: future talk. When a guy truly likes you, he starts slipping you into his plans without even realizing it. No, he's not laying out your life story together on the second date, but you'll hear things like, "You love this restaurant I went to last month," or "You should come with me next time I go hiking there." These small comments suggest that in his mind, he is already imagining you as part of the picture. That's huge. It means you're not just a passing presence. You're someone he wants to include in experiences ahead. So if you're picking up on these signals, those gentle touches, those long glances, the unintentional mirroring, the playful teasing, and those casual mentions of the future, he might not be saying it out loud, but his behavior is doing all the talking. And most of the time, behind that smirk, behind that joke, and behind every little moment he creates with you is a man who's seriously into you. We should check that out. Or maybe he brings up a music festival happening in a few months and says something like, "That'd be a fun thing for us to go to together." These aren't just throwaway comments. It's actually his subconscious way of placing you in his world beyond just the present moment. Most men don't talk about the future with women they see as temporary. If a guy is only after something casual, his conversations usually stay grounded in the present. What's going on this weekend, which bar you both should check out, or some local event that's happening soon. But once he starts casually inserting you into his plans down the road, even in small, seemingly unimportant ways, it's a solid indicator that he's starting to picture you being part of his life long term. And what's even more fascinating is that he may not even be fully aware that he's doing it. A guy's mind often works in compartments. He separates things into different boxes, so if he doesn't think something is going anywhere, he's not going to invest mental energy imagining it. But when he's genuinely into you, you begin popping up in his thoughts without him even realizing. He'll catch himself wondering how you'd react to something funny that happened, or what it would be like to take you to his favorite hidden spot. Now, there's a major distinction between a guy who loosely throws around vague, "we should do that sometime" lines, and one who actually makes solid plans. The first one might just be saying things to keep the conversation going or avoid silence. But the guy who genuinely means it will back his words up with actions. If he tells you about a concert and then follows up a week later with, "Hey, I got us tickets," that isn't just about the event. It means he's invested in you. Or if he remembers something you once casually mentioned you've always wanted to try and then suggests doing it together, that's a clear signal he's not just speaking to pass time. He's actively thinking about ways to make you part of his life. There's also an emotional aspect to this. When a man begins to envision a future that includes you, it's because you make him feel emotionally secure enough to do so. He trusts that spending more time with you and creating something real won't lead to hurt or regret, and that's a big deal. Men don't hand out emotional access easily, so when he does, it means his feelings are much deeper than he might be able to express just yet. Even if he hasn't said the words, his behavior begins to show you that what he's feeling is more than surface level. But what if he seems into you but never talks about the future? That can mean a few different things. Maybe he's been burned in the past and is being cautious, or Maybe he's just not in a phase of his life where he's thinking about the long haul. But if a significant amount of time has gone by, we're talking weeks or even months, and he's never once brought you into any kind of future thought, even casually, then it's worth asking yourself whether he's just enjoying the now or if he actually sees something lasting with you. One of the best ways to gauge where he stands is to bring up the future yourself. Nothing serious or overwhelming, just something simple and light like, "That sounds fun. We should definitely do that sometime." Watch how he reacts. If he smiles, gets excited, keeps talking about it, or even starts figuring out a plan right then, that's a really good sign. But if he brushes it off, changes the subject, or keeps it incredibly vague, that also tells you something. The reality is, men don't always communicate their emotions with direct words, but when one truly likes you, he won't just stay stuck in the present moment. He'll begin making space for you in his life without even realizing he's doing it. That's one of the clearest indicators that he's not just interested, he's genuinely serious about you. Another major sign, he becomes protective in small, natural ways. When a man is sincerely into you, that instinct to protect and look after you comes out effortlessly, even if he's not consciously trying to do it. This isn't about controlling or possessiveness. It's about a deep, innate desire to ensure you're safe and comfortable. And he probably won't even be aware that he's doing it. It just happens. It's those little things. Maybe when you're walking side by side, he casually shifts to the side that's closest to the street. Or if you're in a busy place, he gently places his hand on your back to guide you through the crowd. He doesn't have to say a word. His body speaks volumes. It's instinctive. He positions himself between you and anything that could be seen as even a mild threat. And it's not just about physical safety, emotional protection matters too. If he senses you're having a rough day, he'll want to understand what's bothering you. If you talk about a difficult coworker or a stressful family situation, he may not always know exactly what to say, but his concern will be clear. You'll see it in his expression, in the way he listens more carefully, or even in how his energy shifts to match your mood. He'll want to make you feel supported, even if words aren't his strong suit. A guy who doesn't really care won't put that kind of effort in. He won't check if you got home safely, won't notice changes in your tone, and definitely won't make time to comfort you when you're not feeling your best. But a man who's emotionally involved, his body language and behavior will make it obvious. You'll see it even when he doesn't verbalize it. This protective nature also shows up around other people. If another man is making you uncomfortable, he'll pick up on it, possibly even before you say anything. He might not confront the guy directly, but his posture might shift. He might move closer to you or quietly position himself so you feel safer. And if someone crosses a line, whether it's a stranger, a friend, or even someone at work, he won't just ignore it. He'll make sure in his own way that you know you're not alone and that you're respected. He'll also show care in the way he looks after your comfort and well-being. If you're sick, he'll be the one checking in. He'll remember those little preferences, like how you take your tea when you're feeling under the weather, or what helps calm your nerves after a tough day. And he might never say, "I care about you" directly, but you'll feel it in everything he does. And that's the beautiful part. He's not doing these things because he has to, but because he truly wants to. One of the clearest signs of genuine care is when he remembers the small things you've said, especially things related to your comfort or safety. If you mention once that walking alone at night makes you uneasy, don't be surprised if he texts to check in when he knows you're out late. If you've got a big presentation at work, He might shoot you a good luck message that morning. These aren't just kind gestures. They're his way of showing he's thinking about you, even when you're not around. And let's be honest, that kind of consistent care is incredibly attractive. Not because it makes him look strong in the traditional sense, but because it shows emotional depth. It proves that he's not just around for a good time, but that he actually values you and wants you to feel emotionally, physically, and mentally safe. But it's important to recognize the difference between being protective and being possessive. A man who genuinely cares about you won't try to isolate you from others or control your decisions. He respects your independence and your choices. He supports you while also wanting to make sure you're okay. If his version of protection feels more like control, jealousy, or isolation, that's not real love, that's a warning sign. True protectiveness comes from a place of love and care, not insecurity or power. At the end of the day, men might not always articulate their feelings clearly through words, but their actions, those speak volumes. If a man checks in on you, listens closely, remembers details, supports you without being asked, and looks out for your well-being in both big and subtle ways, then there's a strong chance his feelings are far deeper than he's letting on. And here's another unmistakable clue. He can't seem to stop smiling when he's around you. You know that slightly goofy, almost bashful smile guys get when they're caught off guard by someone they're really into? That's real. When a man is genuinely attracted to you, simply being near you boosts his mood. He might grin more, laugh harder at your jokes, even the cheesy ones, and just seem genuinely thrilled to be in your presence. If you ever notice him smiling at you, even when there's no particular reason, it's because he simply enjoys being around you and he can't help but show it. So if a man shows more than one of these behaviors, chances are high that he's truly interested in more than just a surface level connection. But here's something important to remember. Try not to overanalyze it. If you spend all your time dissecting his every word or wondering constantly, does he really like me? You risk missing out on the actual experience. Focus instead on showing up as your most confident, joyful, and authentic self, because when the right man enters your life, he won't leave you guessing. He won't just flirt, he'll make it clear that he wants to be with you. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The more you understand about love, the more prepared you are to attract the kind of love that truly lasts. Now, tell me in the comments, what's the funniest or most obvious way a guy has ever flirted with you?